Jungkook's long enactment finally arrives. The world witnesses the rebirth of a star that never dies. The world has been waiting for this moment for years. A moment that is not only felt by millions of BTS fans around the world, but also by the figure at the center of all the waiting itself, Jungkook. In a long silence, in a journey full of sweat and tears, the wait finally found its end. Jungkook, the golden magne who used to be just a shy teenager in Busan, now stands on top of the world with a different belief, more mature, deeper, and more human than ever. This long wait isn't just about a musical comeback or a solo debut. It is the spiritual, emotional, and artistic journey of a child growing up before the eyes of the world. Jungkook began his career at an age that was not even enough to determine the direction of life. At a time when children his age are still busy looking for identity, Jungkook already has to bear the burden of a big name attached to the word BTS. He is not only the youngest member, but also the face that is most often the center of attention, the symbol of perfection that is always highlighted, as well as the one that is most often judged. Over the years, Jungkook learned to keep quiet. He withstood all forms of pressure, from the harsh world of entertainment, from public expectations, even from himself. But now, it all seems to be paying off. The world witnessed Jungkook's incredible transformation. From the innocent boy who trembled on the stage of No More Dream, to a mature man who looks at the camera with confidence in the eyes, channeling every wound and victory of his life through tone and lyrics. When the news of his new project was finally announced, the entire entertainment industry shook. Jungkook's long wait has finally arrived, wrote one Korean media outlet. On social media, Jungkook's name instantly dominated the global trending topic in a matter of minutes. Army around the world shed tears of happiness. They know this is not just a new work. It is the culmination of the inner journey of a real artist. In his rare interview, Jungkook spoke in a soft but steady voice. "I never stopped. I just learned to wait for the right time," he said. That simple phrase describes everything. He is no longer a teenager in a hurry to prove himself. Jungkook is now a man who understands that true success does not come from how quickly we achieve something, but from our determination to stand when the world tries to take us down. For many, Jungkook's journey is a reflection of life. It was once failed, once misunderstood, once made an object of sensation. Yet whenever the world tries to close its way, it chooses to reciprocate with works, not words. From the hopeful euphoria, the tender still with you, to her new songs that reflect freedom and maturity, they are honest portraits of a human being who grew up with hurt and love. What makes this wait even more meaningful is the fact that Jungkook never abandons his essence. Behind the gleaming stage lights and millions of adoring fans, he remains the same child. A child who always remembers his mother, who still speaks respectfully about his family, who still apologizes when he feels imperfect. And maybe that's where her strength lies. He was great, but never lost his way. He became a star, but never forgot to be human. As the world welcomed Jungkook's return with a standing ovation, there was a feeling of excitement that was hard to describe. Perhaps because everyone knows, behind the light that is now blinding, there is a long darkness that he once had to pass alone. There were sleepless nights, endless rehearsals, endless criticism, and a sense of longing for a home he could never really visit without a camera following. But now, he looked at all of it without anger. Jungkook has forgiven his past, and instead made it his fuel to step into the future. This long wait also carries a deep message for fans. Sometimes, to achieve something beautiful, we have to be patient. Jungkook taught that success does not come in an instant, but rather through a long and painful process. He proved that even in this instant world, sincerity still prevail. Now, every time Jungkook stands on stage, there is a different aura emanating from him. He no longer appears only as an idol, but as an artist who has stories, wounds, and courage. When he sang his new song with slightly glazed eyes, the world knew this is not acting. It's a real feeling. And perhaps, among the cheers of those thousands of spectators, Jungkook was quietly looking in a more distant direction, to his childhood in Busan, to the days when he only dreamed of becoming a singer, to his mother who used to take him on a bus to Seoul with a simple wish for her son to be happy. Now that dream has come true. But Jungkook doesn't forget where he came from. He always said that whatever he achieved today was the result of the prayers and love of the family who never stopped supporting him. Jungkook's long wait has finally arrived, and the world welcomes him with as much love as the day he first appeared. But for Jungkook, this is not the end. This is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter in which he is no longer just known as the Golden Magne, but as Jungkook, an artist who wrote his own history, with courage, with honesty, and with the love he brought from the beginning. Now, the light around him feels warmer. Not only because of the spotlight of the stage lights, but because of the belief that the long wait was not in vain. Jungkook has arrived where he dreamed of, not just career-wise, but soul-wise. He has become the best version of himself. And for the watching world, this moment will always be remembered as proof that every wait lived with sincerity will one day end in unimaginable beauty. Now that the long wait has been answered, the world seems to stop for a moment to realize how great a journey Jungkook has taken. Every step, every tear, and every sacrifice finally drove him to the peak he truly deserved. But as he said in one of his interviews, when something arrives, it is not the end, but the beginning of a new thing that is even more challenging. It perfectly describes how he views life, not about results, but about continuing to grow. That night, when Jungkook goes on stage to perform his new song, the atmosphere turns magical. The stage was not just a place to perform. It was an altar where his entire life's struggle was left to music. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let out his voice. No overdone effects, no elaborate choreography, just the voice and the heart speaking. Thousands of people cried, not because of the high notes he reached, but because every word felt honest, as if it came from the deepest part of him. After the song ended, Jungkook just smiled. A gentle but meaningful smile. The smile of a child who once feared failure, now stands tall knowing that he has gone through all the storms with his head held high. Among the crowd, there were banners reading, "We waited for you, Jungkook." That simple phrase seemed to be a prayer sent back to him, a recognition from the world that his struggle was not in vain. However, behind all the spotlight and praise, Jungkook remains modest. He never considered himself superior to anyone. In every award acceptance speech, he always bows his head, mentioning the names that make him up, the BTS members, HYB's staff, his family, and of course the army. He knows that his every move is being watched, but he is also aware that popularity can be fragile. Therefore, he chose not to run after fame, but to cultivate gratitude in every little thing he did. In the newly released documentary, there is one scene that touched the hearts of many. Jungkook sitting alone in the studio in the middle of the night, accompanied only by a glass of coffee and a laptop showing his new music project. He is seen writing lyrics while mumbling, then pausing to stare blankly. In the silence, he said quietly, "I just want to create something that can make someone feel not alone." It's like going through the heart of whoever hears it. Because in the end, that's how Jungkook is. He doesn't create music for popularity, but for healing. Each new release from it is now a global moment. But behind the scenes, Jungkook is still the same kid who loves the simple things. Drawing on a tablet, playing with his dog Bam, or calling his mom before bed. In one radio interview, he once chuckled when asked what he first did after winning an international award. The answer was simple but moving. "I called mom." He always says the same thing. "Are you okay?" I thought, that's all I really need to hear. And maybe that's where the power comes from. Jungkook is not only embraced by the world, but also by a mother's love that never goes away. He never forgot his roots. He never let success erase his simplicity. Even when he owns a stately home in an elite neighborhood, he still often talks about the past in a soft tone, about when his family didn't have much, about his father's struggles, about his mother's hopes that always made him want to be better. Now, after the long wait, Jungkook is starting a new life. But he no longer felt pressured by the expectations of the world. He just wanted to enjoy every moment as himself. He began to talk more openly about the things that he used to hide, about fear, anxiety, and even about longing in those simple times before fame came. The world saw a more human, softer, and more sincere side of Jungkook than ever before. Interestingly, this weight does not belong only to fans. Jungkook himself is also waiting. He is waiting for the moment when he can love his job without fear of losing his identity. He is looking forward to a time when his music can be a voice that truly represents his heart, not just the expectations of the industry.